Well, hello, friends. Welcome to the Ladybird browser update for March 2025. It's been another great month in the project. A bit unusual, but as usual, we have a lot of things to talk about. So let us get started. First thing we do, of course, is always thank our sponsors. This month, we have added 3 new sponsors. So those are One Makler at the gold tier. They are renewing. So that's really awesome. And SourceGraph in the bronze tier, and also an individual, Travis Heinstrom, in the copper tier. So thank you all so much for sponsoring Ladybird. And as you may know, Ladybird is sponsored entirely or supported entirely by sponsorships and donations from companies and individuals who love the open web as much as we do. So if you're interested in that, check out our website for more information. All right, so let's take a look at March. First thing, numbers. In terms of pull requests and contributors, we saw 285 pull requests emerged from 47 contributors. I think that's up a little bit from last month, which is very nice. But this kind of goes up and down. So, but these are good numbers. And other numbers we like to look at are the web platform tests. So we have 8,249 new passing tests this month for 1.782 million passing total. So the upward grind here continues. But as I've mentioned previously, the days of low-hanging fruits where we can get like tens of thousands of new passing tests easily, those days are gone. Now it's a grind of fixing little things for few points, but we're doing it anyway. So this is still a pretty good fetch for 1 month. So thanks to everybody who worked on that. If we look at the greater context, just with all the other browsers, this is where we were at the end of February, and this is where we are today. So if we toggle back and forth here, we can see that all browsers improve. We're improving as well. And I would say really the main thing of note this time is that Safari is overtaking Firefox. So they're actually doing better on WPT for the first time, which is interesting. Now, WPT famously has a lot of text encoding tests. Over 1 million of the points, of the 2 million points, are only concerning legacy text encodings for Asian languages. So I do like to do this visualization here where we just subtract those tests, which allows you to see the change a little bit better. And yeah, everybody's improving, but Safari overtaking Firefox, very interesting. Anyway, totally outside of what we're talking about. But yeah, we keep working on this. So first thing I want to show you this time is we have successfully played our first YouTube video in Ladybird. And it requires a little bit of hacking because if we claim to support media source extensions, then it doesn't work at all. But if we just disable that a little bit, it might end up looking a little bit like this. So I have a recording here of this hack. All right. So also new this month, new settings UI. So previously we had custom settings UI for the Qt port and for the AppKit port for macOS. And instead of maintaining sort of individual user interfaces for every native port of Ladybird, we now have a unified settings interface, which is web-based. And you just go to about:settings to open it up. And this just makes it a lot easier for us to add new settings, and maintain it, and so on. So it just makes a lot of sense. In terms of new features, we've implemented CSS background blend mode, which allows authors to control how backgrounds are blended against the background, or backgrounds are blended against each other. Here are some examples of that. We've also begun implementing site isolation this month. So what we currently do is we do a process switch when you're navigating from one site to another. So if you go from, I don't know, google.com to netflix.com, we actually create a new web content process instead of reusing the one that we already had. Now, there's a lot more to site isolation than this, but we had to start somewhere. So this is what we're currently doing. We don't yet have back-forward history across these kind of isolated navigations. And we also don't yet have process-separated iframes. So these are both in the category of future work here, stuff that we have to get to next. Still, site isolation is an important security technique in modern browsers. So it's something that we want to implement as well. A big architectural change this month, or an impactful architectural change at least, is the new rasterizer thread. So traditionally, this has been what our main thread is doing, sort of from left to right here. So running JavaScript, running CSS, and then painting stuff, rasterizing it on the GPU, and then running JavaScript again, running CSS again. And it's sort of been this loop where everything happens on the main thread. Now, new this month is that we're introducing a rasterizer thread, which allows us to take the rasterization step and just move it to a separate thread. And this is something that we've sort of done the groundwork for over a year ago by making all the right data structures and making the right things immutable and so on. And so now we're able to take advantage of this. And what this really means in practice is that instead of the main thread just rasterizing and waiting for the GPU to finish, we now put that work on a different thread, and we can resume JavaScript execution sooner, reducing latency, improving responsiveness on the main thread, and so on. So this is really nice. This is just the first of many opportunities to multi-thread parts of Ladybird, and it's kind of nice thing to see more work in this area. This month we had a team workshop in London. This is what it looked like after I asked ChatGPT to restyle a photo of the team in corporate Memphis. And it was a very productive week. We worked on a bunch of things in Ladybird. And I want to show you the coolest thing that we did, which was get Uber Eats working. So we had to order food for ourselves. So we decided to use Uber Eats. And at the start of the week, it was crashing. The layout was all wrong. And then we spent a bunch of time working on it, fixing all the crashes, fixing the layout issues, making performance acceptable for some definition of acceptable. And it was pretty thrilling when we were finally able to see a menu and start browsing food. But we didn't stop there. We pushed ourselves to the point where we could actually order food. So here's us ordering some Greek food. And we even got the map working so that we could follow the driver along on the map while he was bringing the food to us. And this required a whole bunch of fixes all over the stack. And it wasn't as fluid and perfect when we were doing it live because there was a flickering and stuff. But ignoring that, it still worked, and the food actually arrived. So this was awesome. I'm very happy that we got to do that. And I've also been on the road internationally this month. I went to Texas to speak at the FUTO conference in Austin. That was awesome. Very well received. Met with a lot of great people there who were super interested in what we were doing. And it was just really encouraging to meet all the privacy enthusiasts that were there. I also went to London and spoke at State of the Browser, which was a more web developer-oriented conference. Tons of support there as well. People are very enthusiastic about what we're doing. Really fun to talk to people afterwards and hear sort of everyone's words of encouragement and excitement. So, been a bit of an unusual month, as I was saying. But what we normally do here is do a little demo. So how about we do that? All right, so let's fire up the latest build of Ladybird. And tradition here is that we always visit new sponsors, see what we can do with their website. So the first one joining this month is Makler. Or actually, they're renewing. They actually joined in 2023, and we're really, really happy to have them renew their sponsorship. Their website looks pretty good in Ladybird. Smooth, responsive. We have yet to implement font variant support for variant weights. So that's why this text here is not as bold as it should be. And we also have a couple more layout issues to deal with here. But in general, this is a pretty well-working site in Ladybird, which is super cool. I don't speak German well enough to understand everything that's going on here, but it looks pretty good. And another new sponsor this month is SourceGraph. So this website looks pretty beautiful in Ladybird, actually. Responsive, smooth, nice looking. Handful of layout issues I can tell here, but nothing too crazy. And I think I was able to log in here at some point. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit broken at the moment. Seems to be getting into some kind of redirect loop, but we should get back to working on that. But SourceGraph is looking good and very cool to have them sponsor us. And also Travis Heinstrom is an individual this month who's joining as a sponsor. Travis has a very bare bones website, but he does have a LinkedIn, so let's visit him there. Let's see. Okay. I don't get to visit LinkedIn very often. I can see that we have some fun layout issues here to debug. Buttons looking thick. But, oh my goodness, the scroll performance needs a lot of work. But yeah, thank you, Travis, for sponsoring. That's awesome. Okay, so let me show you some random web app I worked on this month. So I worked on the Image app, which is one of the Futo.org apps. Image is a sort of photo sharing, photo organizing platform, which is very heavily focused on privacy. And when I went to visit Futo in Austin, Texas, this app was not working. Apparently now it works a little bit better, at least for a moment. But we can easily get back in. And we did a bunch of work on performance here. There were some pretty bad JavaScript issues, issues with intersection observer doing like excessive work. And I forget what else, but we've gotten it to the point where it's downright responsive and almost usable, save for the stability issues. So that's super, super cool. I don't know that the map works yet. I think there are some other issues we need to deal with there. Might be WebGL related. Yeah, some issues with fragment shaders and whatnot. But pretty cool. And then I also wanted to show you something with video. So let's go to Google. I know we had a Google Developers View Transitions page. Luke was showing me this one. It has some videos on it. So as you can see, we can play videos now pretty nicely. This is using the FFmpeg library for demuxing, which means that we have support for way more container formats than we did before. Previously, we only supported Matroska. Now we can do MP4 and such, which just gives us access to a lot more videos on the web. So super cool. Also, this page has slightly wonky scroll behavior, but on the whole, it's not too shabby. All right. So I guess those were some things I wanted to show you today. Okay, now before we go, I want to thank everybody who contributed to Ladybird in the month of March. These are the names of all the people who had a commit in the repo this month. It's really, really awesome to see so many people, even some new people. That's almost the best part, is when new people decide to try browser development. If you're watching this video and you're curious about maybe trying browser development, you totally should. Come hang out with us on Discord and see what we're doing, see if it seems interesting. And thank you to everyone who watches these videos for keeping up to date with the project. If you prefer to get this information in text form, we have a newsletter on ladybird.org. If you want to sponsor or support the project somehow, check out ladybird.org as well. If you just want to chat, come to our Discord. But you can find everything on ladybird.org. And it's been a weird month. Now we're just going to get back to normal programming for a while, I think. But pretty good still. See you next month.